away with me today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the season of Lent. What it means, what it doesn't mean, and how it can be an opportunity for you to reboot, so to speak. So let's start off with with what Lent is not. Back when I was in high school, I had somebody come up to me and say, "Hey, what are you giving up for Lent?" I just looked at him going like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so I said, tell me more about what you mean. And they said, well, it's when you give up something you like, you give up something you love, and then you get it back again at Easter. And I still was a little puzzled. So I did give up something that Lent. I gave up Dr. Pepper. For the people who know me well, they know that the teenage Leslie, that was a staple. That was like water for the teenage Leslie. It was Dr. Pepper. So 40 days, no Dr. Pepper. And I can honestly say, looking back, that it had little impact on me. I was still puzzled. My processor self couldn't figure out what giving up something that you loved had to do with God, Jesus, or Easter for that matter. But perhaps it's because through time, we've lost the true meaning of the season. Lent was not a religious holiday that Jesus celebrated. Jesus was Jewish. Lent wasn't there back then. Lent became a regular observance 300 years after Jesus' death. It became like a regular thing for people to do. And Lent, as inspired by Jesus' 40 days in the desert, it was a time of fasting and a time of prayer. And some people see it as a time of sacrifice, hence giving up the Dr. Pepper. But looking back, I don't really think God was all too concerned about whether or not I drank Dr. Pepper. Every day, no days. That wasn't the point. So, if we truly stick to the inspiration of Jesus behind this Lenten experience, it is his intentional time apart to prepare for what he is called to do. And in order to prepare, he intentionally spent extra time with God, having conversations with God, listening to God, gaining strength in the oneness with the divine. So when you're called to do what is yours to do on your hero's journey, one must prepare. Now let's take a look at this time apart thing after I get a sip of water. There's certainly value in spending some one-on-one time with God. However, we often limit the conversations with God by defining where God is and where God is not. So let's think outside the box for a minute, and bear with me here with this analogy. God is like a toddler. You know that look that the toddler gives you when they come up to you and they've got the thing in their hand, and they know that you are the one with the power to fix it if it's broken, to receive it joyfully if it's a gift, even if it happens to be a gift from the backyard that the dog might have left. But you receive it joyfully, don't you? Because you know the confidence that toddler has in you, that all is well. So, why wouldn't God look at you with that confidence? You are divinely created. Divinity within every cell of your being. And like a toddler, God is everywhere. I mean everywhere. You know, when you're in the kitchen and you feel the tug at your pant leg and they're there. They want to know what you're doing. Or you're fixing something and the toddler is there wanting to know, can they help, what they're doing. They're there. You're in the bathtub after a long day, you're relaxing, and it's just like, yeah, it's chill time, mama time, Leslie time. And then you hear it, Mom, I'll be out in a minute. Then you hear them sit by the door. And then you see it from under the door. The fingers. Tapping, waiting, wanting to spend some time with you. And God is a little bit not so much like the toddler that goes, Mama, Mom, Mommy, Mom, Mommy. No, God is a little different. God beckons. God may beckon again. And then God waits. And my point is that we shouldn't limit where we find God. God is everywhere. God is in this very room. God is in North Korea. God is in Russia. At the very same time, the divine is with us. God is outside. God is inside. God is within all. In the book of John, and if you want to follow with me, I'm on 14:20. I have bigger print, so I'm going to read from my page here because this is tiny. I can't see that. So Jesus said, on that day you will realize that I am the Father, you are in me, and I am in you. So Jesus said, on that day you will realize that I am in the Father, and you are in me, and I am in you. So in every single person that we come in contact, every single being, every single entity, God is. And just like any teacher who wants to get the point across, you know, when you're in the lecture hall and you're taking notes and you know somebody should write again, they tell you again. And so again, in John 17:23, he says, I am in them, and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. Then the world will know that you sent me, and you love them as you have loved me. Therefore, time away is often seeking an opportunity to hear God speaking through a trusted friend, through nature, through your spouse, through your family, through your pet, through a circumstance, even when the circumstance appears not to be good, and through yourself as the Christ dwells within you. And can we be attuned to recognize and to hear that still, small voice in so many places? And this is what I think Lent is about. It's a chance to reboot, a chance to reconnect, a chance to recharge before embarking on what it is that you are called to do. Notice that I didn't say once a year, 40 days before Good Friday, you need to do this. Nor did I say that it has to be exactly 40 days long. It's a Lenten experience. Do this Lenten experience before taking on your yes, or even while you're contemplating, is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a not yet? During this time, take the time not only to listen, but to deny what no longer suits your highest good in that next quest that you're on, and to affirm what will lift you and what will bring you closer to God and your purpose. These statements can be things like, fear holds no power over me. God is my true power and my strength. I am destined to succeed. How often do we get stuck? Sometimes we're frozen in the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? And then you think more, then your what ifs become more what ifs, and you have an avalanche of what ifs. But you know what? Even if the what ifs happen, even if all of those what ifs happened, God is there. Your support of God and those people who are around you is there. And the confidence bestowed upon you by that toddler God is there. And all is good. Also take the time to accept the grit. The grit that comes along with the journey. You know, the thoughts of, goodness, is this even worth it? You're stressed. It hasn't become easy. You're still excited, but it's not easy, so you're just, nah. And then you receive a little bit of critique. But that critique is not meant to damage the vessel that you are. That critique, rather, is a sanding and a refining. Much like you sand wood to bring out the beauty of the grain. Much like in order to get a beautiful piece of jewelry, you've got to add a little heat to it to make it be the beauty that it is. But that beauty is not hidden, it's already there. You just refine it a little bit. And as a caution, don't mistake abuse for critique. There is a difference. And you'll know the difference between the sanding grit and the abuse when you ask yourself, is this information that is happening for my higher good? You'll know, and your gut will tell you. Another part of the grit is when things don't turn out quite as they planned. And that's kind of when Coach God comes in, says, dust yourself off, chin up, shoulders back, get back in the game. Now don't get me wrong, when God has something to say, and we avoid that Lenten experience, God breaks into mama mode. You know mama mode. You're a muck, you're running around, you're doing your thing, and then here she comes. She bends down to your level, and you know if mom is bending down to your eye level, oh boy. And then she speaks. I told you to sit down and listen. Mouth doesn't even move. And things like that happen at the weirdest time. Like you're asleep, you're dreaming your good dreams, and then you get this weird dream. So you wake up, and you analyze, why did I dream this weird dream? What does it mean? Does it mean anything? Maybe it doesn't mean anything. And then you hear it. Now that I've got your attention, let's have a little chat. So if it's something that you are meant to do, called to do, things that is yours to do, God will give you the time to ping and ping and ping and ping. But finally, if you're destined here for something, He'll wake you up in the middle of the night. She'll break into mama mode. So do it, friends. Have those intentional, meaningful moments with the divine. Remember that God presents in love. So imagine that entity, that person, that place, that refuge that provides you pure, unconditional love. And spend time there. Spend time there before each yes. Metaphorically, crawl up and snuggle into the lap of Father God. Put your head on the shoulder and whisper into the ear of Mother God. Laugh it up or cry it out with BFF God. And to gain the confidence that is in you through the toddler God that already holds that confidence in you. And so it is. And so we let it be. So we're going to take a little bit of time apart together. I'm going to ask that you get this out because we're going to meditate a little differently today. The teacher in me is coming out, so bear with me. Grab a pen from in front of you, and you're going to use this doodle page back here. So there's no need to worry about what you're going to draw, because it may not be anything. Because right now we're having a little side-by-side with toddler God. Doesn't care about what it looks like. And you're going to be drawing with your eyes closed, so it doesn't matter. So pen in hand, eyes closed, let's take a deep breath. Take one more deep breath. And now that your pen is moving, go ahead and get your pen moving. It doesn't have to draw any particular thing. It could just be snaking around almost like you're walking a labyrinth. And imagine yourself in that space of creativity where you ask, what is mine to do? What is the message that you have for me? And let that pen move as you release clutter and listen to the words. Space. Concentrate on your question and listen for the answer. Your pen may draw the answer. Your pen may write it in a word. Your pen may just be the movement that brings the message forth in your mind. Either way, keep the pen moving. As you are ready to come back, join us in this place and this time. You can open your eyes and join in singing the Alleluias.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
So now we come to a time where we discuss amongst ourselves if you have any questions or any insight or something that you would like to share. You don't have to share your picture at all, but just to affirm toddler God. Would anybody like to share? Funny, y'all are almost never cry. There we go.
I was very struck by the doodling meditation. I'd never done that before, but I'm going to borrow it. I really liked it. I mean, it really put me in a space of ease, and I felt very much in touch because at first I just kind of, was going at this speed of just whatever. And then all of a sudden I knew that I had slowed down quite a bit. And so before I knew it, I had just kind of stopped. I mean, I just really drifted off to somewhere. So I thought it was very calming for me. So I enjoyed it. Thank you.